Ladies and gentlemen, our Honorable Presiding Officer is now at the session hall. Shall we all rise?
Good morning, everyone. The 33rd regular session is now called to order. Please rise for our invocation and pambansang awit and the recitation of the panunumpa at sa katapatan ng watawat. Instead of Honorable Lumayag, may we have Honorable Amor.
Loving Father, source of all understanding, today we pause in your presence to acknowledge your goodness and the many blessings that sustain our lives. You are the light that leads us forward, especially in times when the path is unclear. As we begin this gathering, fill us with wisdom and discernment, that our thoughts may be guided and our decisions made with integrity. Teach us to work with humility, to respect one another, and to remain focused on what truly matters, the welfare of the people we serve. In the midst of global challenges and economic pressures felt by many, grant strength to every household and wisdom to those in authority. May we become instruments of peace, bringing hope and stability through the work we do today. With grateful hearts, we lift this prayer to you. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
To my fellow public servants, itaas po natin ang ating kanang kamay at sabay-sabay nating bigkasin ang panunumpa sa watawat ng Pilipinas. Ako ay Pilipino, buong katapatang nanunumpa sa watawat ng Pilipinas at sa bansang kanyang sinasagisag na may dangal, katarungan at kalayaan na pinakikilos ng sambayanang makadiyos, makatao, makakalikasan at makabansa.
Kami anak ng Santo Tarado, kami anak ng Santo Tarado, naglayang isang dugo ng Pilipino, iba't ibang tribong pinanggalingan di hadlang sa pagtaguyod ng matibay na mamamayan. Mula sagana, bigyan pugayang bawat lumikha ng tagumpay. Sa hirap at ginhawa kami kaagapan. Polomolok tahanan ng kayamanan, lalong pagyamanin, kultura at karangalan. Hawak kamay, pagtibayin ating katungkulan, ipagpunit isisigaw sa usang libutan. Polomolok tahanan ng manggagawa, polomolok tahanan ng mga bayani, Muslim, katutubo at mga Kristiyano, kabit-bisig sa pagunlad ang siyang minimiti. Ipagpundi bawat tagumpay, taas mo, iwagaybay, Panginoon, tanging naman, bawat pagtahak, itong buhay. Polomolok tahanan ng kayamanan, lalong pagyamanin, kultura at karangalan. Hawak kamay, pagtibayin ating katungkulan, ipagpunit isisigaw sa pusang bayanan. Ipagpunit isisigaw sa buong sanlibutan.
The Councilor's Creed, may we have Honorable Salada on behalf of Honorable Orbisido. Please take your seats. Ms. Secretary, please call the attendance, and I am acknowledging Ms. Emerald to be our secretary for today's session since Mr. Noel Tahali, our Sangguniang Bayan secretary, is on leave.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. For the roll call, absent in today's session is Honorable John Edward L. Lumayag, who is on forced leave. Also absent is Honorable Ligaya R. Orbisido, who is on special leave, while Honorable Billy Bert C. Baitos Jr. is plain absent. Honorable Joe R. H. Falcon is on wellness leave. And lastly, Honorable Angelique Dave O. Costas is currently attending an on-site learning program in the municipality of Taytay, province of Palawan. Hence, she is on official business. And there are five members absent in today's session, Madam Presiding Officer.
With that, we have,
7 members.
yes, only 6 members, so we cannot attain.
7, including
Including, okay, so we are in quorum, so we will proceed.
For the reading and consideration of the previous minutes, we have the minutes of the 31st regular session of the 20th Sangguniang Bayan, held at the session hall on this is supposedly March 10, 2026.
Any corrections to the minutes of the 31st regular session? If none, the same is approved as read. Next.
For the privilege or under question R, before the session started, Madam Presiding Officer, our Chairman of the Committee on Rules, Honorable Salada, manifested that he will be availing of this R.
Honorable Salada is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. Good morning. I would like to manifest, Madam Presiding Officer, that I will be reporting a committee report, and I humbly request that this be included into this agenda into decision, Madam Presiding Officer.
Same is to be considered as one of our urgent matters later unless there's an objection.
Committee report.
Committee report pala, sorry.
That is noted, Madam Presiding Officer. For the first reading and referral of proposed measures or communications, number 1 is the calendar year 2026 Sangguniang Kabataan annual budget of the following barangays: Cleanan 6 and of Coronadal proper.
To the committees on finance and youth.
Number 2, 3, 4, and 5 are barangay ordinances of Barangay Cannery Site. Barangay Ordinance Number 35, Series of 2026, entitled An Ordinance Prohibiting the Use of All Vehicles with an Open Pipe Muffler or those that are defective or have been modified which increase the sound emitted by the production and discharge of something, especially gas or radiation, by all vehicles and penalizing owners, drivers in Barangay Cannery Site, this municipality. Number 3 is Barangay Ordinance Number 36, same series, entitled An Ordinance Promoting Zero Open Defecation in Barangay Cannery Site, Polomolok, South Cotabato, prescribing penalties for violations and providing funds thereof. Number 4 is Barangay Ordinance Number 37 of the same barangay, entitled An Ordinance Requiring All Homeowners, Boarding House Owners, Hotel Owners, or Landlord to register all residents, boarders, occupants, and visitors for security, safety, and monitoring purposes. And lastly, number 5 is Barangay Ordinance Number 39, entitled An Ordinance Amending Barangay Tax Ordinance Number 2, Series of 2011, otherwise known as the Barangay Revenue Code of Barangay Cannery Site, this municipality, by adjusting fees and charges and imposing additional regulatory fees.
Number 2 will go to the Committees on Transportation and Rules, Lead Committee Transportation. Number 3 will go to the Committees on Envi and Rules, Lead Committee Envi. Number 4 will go to the Committees on Public Safety and Rules, Lead Committee Public Safety. Number 5 will go to the Committees on Finance and Rules, Lead Committee Finance. Next.
For this session, we have 2 late communications from the Office of the Mayor. We have number 1 is a letter dated March 19, 2026, addressed to the honorable members of the August body through Honorable Florence S. Bansuelo Carlos, Municipal Vice Mayor, Presiding Officer. Dear ladies and gentlemen, greetings. Respectfully endorsing for your consideration is the adjusted draft MOA between the Municipal Mayor of Polomolok and Maria Teresa de la Cruz Samonte, MD, proprietor of de la Cruz Diagnostic Center, covering the provision of newborn hearing screening services at Polomolok General Hospital. It may be recalled that the LGU and De La Cruz Diagnostic Center entered into a MOA in 2024, which expired in 2025. Despite the expiration, both parties continued the arrangement, resulting in services being rendered without formal authority. To address this gap and avoid unjust enrichment in favor of this municipality, the new MOA now includes an additional provision. Part 3, payment of previously rendered services. Upon submission of sufficient proof of services duly rendered for calendar year 2025, the first party shall ensure payment to the service provider in accordance with applicable accounting and auditing rules and regulations. This modification regularizes the arrangement that occurred in 2025 and establishes safeguards to prevent similar lapses in the future. In view of the foregoing, the undersigned respectfully requests the honorable members of the Sangguniang Bayan to consider the urgent passage of a resolution authorizing the Municipal Mayor, Honorable Bernie D. Palencia, to enter into a memorandum of agreement with De La Cruz Diagnostic Center for the provision of newborn hearing screening services at PGH, with the inclusion of Provision 3, payment of previously rendered services. Attached herewith is adjusted draft MOA for your review and deliberation, signed in public service, Honorable Mayor Bernie D. Palencia.
If the chairman of the Committee on Rules would like this to be urgent later, then we can have this. Anyway, this is only a MOA. So the same is urgent.
Number 2, late communication is dated March 23, 2026, addressed to the August body. Dear ladies and gentlemen, greetings. Respectfully endorsing for your consideration is the proposed amendment to General Ordinance Number 7, Series of 2020, or the Municipal Tuberculosis Control Program. The revision seeks to increase the program's funding allocation from 1 million pesos to 3 million pesos with a 10% annual increment to address rising costs of medicines, growing patient needs, and enhance support mechanisms. For any clarifications or technical details regarding the proposed amendment, the Municipal Health Office may be directly consulted to provide the necessary data and programmatic justifications. In view of the foregoing, the undersigned respectfully requests the passage of an ordinance amending General Ordinance Number 7, Series of 2020, to further strengthen the municipality's tuberculosis control program. Attached herewith are the pertinent documents for your review and consideration, signed in public service, Honorable Mayor Bernie D. Palencia.
This will be referred to the Committee on Health.
Noted, Madam Presiding Officer. For the committee reports, we have 3 committee reports, including that of the manifestation of Honorable Salada. Number 1 is the 12th Joint Committee Report of the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriations and Committee on Youth, subject of which is the calendar year 2026 Sangguniang Kabataan Annual Budget of Barangay Landan. But before proceeding, Madam Presiding Officer, time of arrival of Honorable Baitus is 14 minutes after 9.
Let's go now to the Committee on Finance and Youth for the report.
Presiding Officer, and the rest of the honorable members of the Sangguniang Bayan, and all our guests, magandang umaga. I rise this morning to present the 12th Joint Committee Report of the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriations and the Committee on Youth and Sports Development on the calendar year 2026 of the Sangguniang Kabataan Annual Budget of Barangay Landan on behalf of Honorable Angelic Dave Costas, who is on an official leave. Allow me to proceed with the facts and findings. The above subject matter was referred to the herein undersigned Joint Committee for Review and Proper Action on February 3, 2026 during the 26th regular session of the 20th Sangguniang Bayan. The Joint Committee conducted a meeting on March 12, 2026 at the Session Hall of the Sangguniang Bayan building to discuss matters concerning the proposed budget. Present during the meeting were the members of the committee, together with the SK Council of Barangay Landan, headed by the SK Chairperson Honorable John Benedict S. Lacorte. Upon deliberation, the Joint Committee found the following facts: that the barangay concerned has an annual budget of 1,108,614 pesos and 90 centavos, sourced from the 10% SK share of the barangay's 2026 General Fund. The aforementioned budget was appropriated as follows: General Administration Program, 441,076 pesos and 15 centavos. Capability Building, which emphasizes leadership training, amounted to 217,500. Health and anti-drug abuse amounted to 10,000 pesos. Sports development and socio-cultural activities, 330,000. Gender sensitivity, 10,000. Equitable access to quality education, 60,000. Environment protection, climate change and mitigation, disaster risk reduction resiliency amounted to 25,038 pesos and 75 centavos. Youth employment and livelihood, 10,000 pesos. And agriculture amounted to 5,000 pesos, with a total expenditure program of 1,108,614 pesos and 90 centavos. The committee finds the proposed fiscal year 2026 budget of SK Landan to be responsive to the current youth concerns and aligned with the development priorities, subject to the improvements and financial compliance, reporting, and program implementation. Recommendation: with the foregoing considerations, and there have been no more discussions and or objections thereto, the Joint Committee agreed to recommend the following: to adopt the committee report, to pass a resolution approving the calendar year 2026 Sangguniang Kabataan Annual Budget of the Barangay Landan, and to consider the said resolution as one of the urgent measures in today's session. And so I move, Madam Chair.
Unless there's a motion for interpellation, the same is approved as read.
The second committee report is the 8th committee report from the Committee on Cooperatives, Stations, and Livelihood, subject of which is the communication from the Office of the Municipal Mayor, dated March 5, 2026, respectfully requesting the honorable members of Sangguniang Bayan for the passage of a resolution authorizing the Municipal Mayor, Honorable Bernie D. Palencia, to enter into a MOA with the Provincial Government of South Cotabato the Association of Foundations Incorporated, Mahintana Foundation Incorporated, and participating local government units for the implementation of the CSO Academy Program Batch 3 in the municipality of Polomolok. This program aims to strengthen civil society participation in local governance and enhance collaborative mechanisms between LGU and accredited civil society organizations.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I will also be reporting the 8th committee report on the Committee on Cooperatives, Associations, and Livelihood under the chairmanship of Honorable John Edward L. Lumayag, who is also on leave. With that aforementioned subject, I'd like to proceed, Madam Chair, with the facts and findings. The above subject was referred to the herein committee for proper action last March 10, 2026 on the 31st regular session of the 20th Sangguniang Bayan. The committee held a committee meeting on March 11, 2026 at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the Sangguniang Bayan Session Hall, Sangguniang Building, this municipality, for the consideration of the subject request, and was attended by the committee vice chairperson, members, Ms. Maria Regina Bianan Pagdalian, the CSO Desk Officer, and Mr. Mardion S. Gallego. The CSO Desk Officer herself presented to the committee the endorsement of the Memorandum of Agreement on the implementation of the CSO Academy Program Batch 3, which are as follows. Polomolok LGU will assign a municipal CSO Desk Officer who shall coordinate with the Office of the Provincial Cooperative Development Officer to ensure efficient liaison with scholars and other key stakeholders, including public relations. Polomolok LGU will enter into a Memorandum of Agreement with the 6 qualified scholars of the CSO Academy Program. That Polomolok LGU will also provide financial support in the form of scholarship to the 6 qualified CSO Academy Program applicants to enable their participation in the Lead to Serve course. That the Polomolok LGU will remit 75,000 per scholar through the province of South Cotabato as payment to the Association of Foundation or AF on or before August 15, 2026, subject to the existing accounting and auditing rules and regulations. That the Polomolok LGU will also provide administrative and technical support to 6 qualified CSO Academy Program applicants by guiding them through the applicant or applications processes, supporting their meaningful participation in the courses, and empowering them to apply their learning with their organization and in the local governance platform. That the committee found the CSO Academy Program to be relevant as it aims to strengthen the capacity of civil society organizations and provide sustainable opportunities for marginalized and vulnerable sectors, particularly those engaged in community-based and informal initiatives. With the foregoing considerations, the committee hereby recommends the following: to adopt the committee report, to pass a resolution authorizing the Honorable Mayor Bernie D. Palencia to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Provincial Government of South Cotabato, the Association of Foundations Incorporated, Mahintana Foundations Incorporated, and participating local government units for the implementation of the CSO Academy Program Batch 3 in the municipality of Polomolok. Also to consider this matter as one of the urgent measures in today's session. Duly signed by the respective committee members. That's all, Mr. Chair. So I move. Madam Chair, rather.
Unless there are some questions to the report. If none, the same is approved as read. Next.
For the last committee report is the first joint committee report from the Committee on Environmental Protection, Natural Resources, Ecological and Solid Waste Management, and Disaster Risk Reduction, and Climate Change, Committee on Rules, Good Governance and Oversight, and the Committee on Economic Enterprise, Trade, Commerce, and Industry. Subject of which is the letter request from Reinhard B. Tocayao, Proprietor, 5J Sand and Gravel Supplies, addressed to the Vice Mayor, Florence S. Bansuelo Carlos, requesting for a resolution reaffirming no objection to the renewal of permit to operate a sand and gravel supply business.
You may now proceed.
Thank you, Madam Presiding Officer. First, Joint Committee Report from the Committee on Environmental Protection, Natural Resources, Ecological and Solid Waste Management, and Disaster Risk Reduction and Climate Change, Committee on Rules, Good Governance and Oversight, and Committee on Economic Enterprise, Trade, Commerce, and Industry, subject as mentioned by the Secretary. Facts and findings. The 20th Sangguniang Bayan, in its 6th regular session, referred the above stated measure to this Joint Committee on August 5, 2025 for appropriate action. On August 13, 2025, the Joint Committees convened to deliberate on the matter. The meeting was attended by the chairpersons, vice chairpersons, and committee members. Also present during the meeting were the officials of Barangay Sulit, represented by Barangay Kagawats Honorable Cyril H. Maglunop, the late Honorable Nestor D. Kiatson, and Honorable Winston B. Pilar, along with the OIC and staff of the Municipal Planning and Development Office, Engineer Dominador C. Kamiki Jr., Engineer Danny Pilias, ANP, and Engineer Junmar Kambarihan, CE. Representative from the Municipal Environmental and Natural Resources Office, Mr. Dave Esquadra, and applicant Reinhard Tokayaw, and staff May Gomez. During the meeting, Mr. Tokayaw explained that since 2023, the business has focused on stockpiling and supplying sand and gravel sourced from other areas. Operations in Barangay Sulit involved storage and processing only. He added that the current permit covers hollow block production but will be updated to reflect batching plant activities. The joint committees raised concerns about compliance, noting the ECC covers a batching plant while the permit lists hollow block production. They highlighted the inconsistency between documents and actual operations. The proponent was urged to update the permit to align with regulatory requirements. MPDO representatives informed the committees that the proponent's locational clearance for the crusher and batching plant needs renewal and submission of complete documents, including the ECC. They also advised amending the business permit to include batching plant operations and related activities. So that is why this committee report is very late, because they were not able to update the actual business permit. Barangay Sulit officials confirmed issuing a resolution of no objection, clarifying that the business only stockpiles materials from other areas and does not operate a quarry. Minor resident concerns during equipment testing led to a recommendation to limit operations to daytime hours. The committees also discussed the need to ensure that the proponent sources raw materials only from licensed quarry operators. Mr. Tokayo confirmed that the business does not operate in its own quarry site and instead obtains materials from authorized suppliers. The committee required that proof of agreements with licensed quarry operators be submitted to ensure that the materials being used are sourced legally. During the deliberations, members of the joint committees proposed the conduct of a site inspection to verify the location of the stockpiling area, the proposed batching plant and crushing plant, and the general condition of the operation within Barangay Sulit. The proponent expressed willingness to accommodate the site visit and to cooperate with the committees in ensuring compliance with applicable environmental and regulatory requirements. After due deliberation, the joint committees noted the willingness of the proponent to comply with the necessary regulatory requirements and to update the business permit to reflect the actual nature of the operations. The committees likewise acknowledged also the resolution issued by Barangay Sulit interposing no objection to the operation of the business. On August 19, 2025, members of the joint committees visited the site in Barangay Sulit to assess the stockpiling area, batching and crushing plant, and surrounding conditions. They confirmed no quarrying activity and noted equipment and facilities in place. The committee emphasized limiting operations to daytime hours and ensuring compliance with ECC and permit requirements. In the third week of February 2026, the proponents submitted to the committees the necessary documents, including the letter from the Regional Director of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, dated February 4, 2026. the updated business permit issued on January 21, 2026, Barangay Resolution Number 036, Series of 2024 from Barangay Sulit, the minutes of the Local Zoning Board of Appeals, LZVA, meeting dated February 3, 2026, with attendance sheet. Local Zoning Board of Appeals Resolution Number 004, Series of 2026, the decision on zoning from the Municipal Planning and Development Office, Coordinator, dated February 12, 2026, and the Environmental Compliance Certificate, or ECC, February ECCOL-R12-02024-022B, issued by the DENR. These documents serve as references for the Joint Committee. In view of the foregoing, and after careful deliberation of all submissions, clarifications, and supporting documents, the Joint Committee hereby recommends the approval of passing a resolution interposing no objection to the operations of 5G sand and gravel supplies and the placement of the stone crusher and separator machine located at Purok 8, Barangay Sulit, Polomolok, South, Cotabato. Recommendations to adopt this committee report. And number 2, to pass a resolution interposing no objection for the operation of 5J sand and gravel supplies and placement of stone crusher and separator machine located at Purok 8, Barangay Sulit, Polomolok, South, Cotabato. And to consider this resolution as an urgent matter during today's session. Reported by yours truly, concurred by the Honorable Bilibert C. Baitus Jr., Honorable Eliasar G. Jubero, Honorable John Edward Lumayag, Honorable Jerome Wayanti, and Honorable Antonio B. Octavio. So I move, Madam Presiding.
Said report is approved as read.
We are now on the calendar of business. For the unfinished business, none. Business for the day, second reading. Urgent matters, we have 4 measures considered urgent. First of which is the late communication of the Office of the Municipal Mayor dated March 19, 2026, received on March 24, 2026. This is a request to the honorable members of the Sangguniang Bayan for the urgent passage of a resolution authorizing the Municipal Mayor, Honorable Bernie D. Palencia, to enter into a MOA with the La Cruz Diagnostic Center for the provision of newborn hearing screening services at PGH with the inclusion of Provision 3, payment of previously rendered services.
Honorable Salada.
There is no question. Madam Presiding, I move to pass a resolution authorizing the Municipal Mayor, Honorable Bernie D. Palencia, to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the La Cruz Diagnostic Center for the provision of newborn hearing screening services at Polomolok General Hospital with the inclusion of Provision 3, payment of previously rendered services. So I move, Madam Presiding.
There's a motion and duly seconded by all members present. Unless there's an objection, the same is approved.
On unanimous sponsorship.
On unanimous sponsorship.
Noted, Madam Presiding Officer. The next urgent measure is from the committee report of the Committee on Finance, Budget and Appropriations and Committee on Youth covering calendar year 2026 Sangguniang Kabataan Annual Budget of Barangay Landan.
Honorable Amor.
I move for the approval of the calendar year 2026 Sangguniang Kabataan Annual Budget of Barangay Landan.
There's a motion and seconded by Honorable Javero. The same is approved.
The third urgent measure is from the committee report of the Committee on Cooperatives, Associations, and Livelihood covering the communication from the Office of the Municipal Mayor requesting for the resolution authorizing him to enter into a MOA with the Provincial Government of South Cotabato, the Association of Foundations Incorporated, Mahintana Foundation Incorporated, and participating local government units for the implementation of the CSO Academy Program, Batch 3.
I move for the passage of a resolution authorizing the Municipal Mayor, Honorable Bernie D. Palencia, to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Provincial Government of South Cotabato, the Association of Foundations Incorporated, Mahintana Foundations Incorporated, and participating local government units for the implementation of the CSO Academy Program Batch 3 in the municipality of Polomolok.
There's a motion and any second to the same. It's been seconded by Honorables Octavio and Ante. Unless there's an objection, the same is approved.
And the last urgent measure is from the committee report of the Committees on Envi, Rules, and Economic Enterprise, which covers the resolution interposing no objection for the operation of 5J sand and gravel supplies and placement of stone crusher and separator machine located at Porok 8, Barangay Sulit, this municipality.
Honorable Salada.
I move to pass a resolution interposing no objection for the operation of 5J's sand and gravel supplies and placement of stone crusher and separator machine located at Purok 8, Barangay Sulit, Polomolok, South, Cotabato.
There's a motion and duly seconded. The same is approved unless there's an objection.
For our scheduled measures, we have none. Third and final reading, none. Unassigned business, none. Let's now have the announcement.
Honorable Salada.
Committee meeting on Thursday, Rules and Health.
Any more?
Just to inform the honorable members, we still have the 4-day work week. So, tomorrow. And our cut-off still would be Thursday.
Okay, if there are no more announcements, then session adjourned. Please rise for the closing prayer by Honorable Salada. Thank you, everyone. Wala lagi.